Okay, I have no idea if this is working because the video that I'm seeing on here is way slower than I'm hoping it shows up there, but I really have no idea. Um, okay, and that's recording. All right, and I have the sound off. Hillary, I saw that you liked it. Oh, I can't see comments. That's not helpful. It's a whole new world, guys. Hold on just a second. Oh, lots of comments, but I can't see any of them. Well, that's fun. Hold on, let me check settings. Yeah, I got no idea. Okay, Hillary, if you can hear me and see me, can you like throw a heart or something? I saw that come across, or a like, because I can't read your comments, and so I have no idea if this is actually working or not. Um, waiting. There it is. Okay. All right. You can hear me. I can't hear you, but I'm just going to keep going and it'll be fine. Oh my gosh, there's hearts all over the place. Thank you. I don't know. I still got some tweaking to do, but at least y'all can hear things. So give me just a second because I'm going to try to do it on Instagram at the same time. All right. Bear with me. I was going to put them on first and then I ran into issues over here. So let's see here. Live. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Instagram is hooking up. I'm apparently on Facebook. Oh, I'm not really lined up with Instagram. Hi, Instagram. I am trying to do both at the same time. I'm having some Facebook Live issues. So, and I'll just have to step out of the way for this. And this video is slow. Whoa, this is going to be trippy, you guys. Okay, we're just going to do it anyway. All right. Hi, it's Tuesday at 10. Hopefully, you'll see now this video is freezing up. This is going to freak me out. I'm just going to have to talk to you guys or something. Okay. Sorry, brain. Here we go. So today we are talking about the to-do list. And I'll be honest. So I had a friend, I was at Bunko and I had a friend who asked that she was like, maybe you could talk about the to-do list and how you do things, like strategies for that. And it's not my bit, you guys. Like, I'm a philosopher kind of person. I live up in my head, the actual doing of the real things, like putting it into practice, I'm not very good at. But what that does mean is that I know lots of strategies because I try lots of strategies because I'm not very good at them. So I'm going to tell you what I know so far, and I'll catch up on the Facebook comments after because I can't see them. So bear with me, you guys. Maybe I'll get it right next week. But we're one step closer. Iteration, progress over perfection. Okay, so in terms of like to-do list management on apps, I have no idea. I can't use apps. I finally got Google Calendar like 2 months ago, mostly because my husband made me, because he wanted to be able to sync our calendar, but even that is kind of tricky for me. I have a hard time doing it. So in terms of apps, I would recommend you just go Google best time or to-do list management apps, or if anybody knows of any, leave them in the comments or let me know. I would love to hear them because I don't know them, so I'm not helpful in that way. So I'm going to help you with the pen and paper kind of apps because that's what I do. So if that's not you, you can just skip this one and catch the next Tuesday at 10 and that'll be fine. All right, so I think when it comes to to-do lists, the first step, and I'm sorry this is going to be flipped on Instagram. I don't know if it's not flipped on Facebook or not, but the first step is to plan, I think, which you only sometimes have time to do. But if you have time to plan, I think it's a good place to start. So something my husband and I did recently was to sit down and talk about how many hours we actually have. You know, let's put in childcare hours and carpool hours and sleeping, like ideally how much time would we sleep? Okay, how many hours does that leave us with in a day? And it was surprisingly little to actually get things done in, but it helps you to manage your expectations in terms of how much you can put in to your life. You know, if you have it in your head that I've got 5 hours a day or 3 hours a day to get things done, then suddenly you're able to understand it much better. So that would be my top recommendation. If you can only do one of these planning things, that's what I would do first, is figure out how many hours you've got on a weekday and on a weekend so that when you're doing the time management, you know where to put things. All right, the second one is the Covey time management grid, and I don't know how many of y'all have heard of that. I have it over here. Yeah, you can see it. So basically it's got 4 quadrants. You've got urgent and non-urgent, and then you've got important and non-important. And to try to explain that, so urgent and important is demand. So whatever's demanding your time at that moment. So if you've got kids, it's changing a diaper, it's a diaper explosion, it's the fact that they need to eat and all those kinds of things. That would go for demand. important and non-urgent, they call the zone, because it's the one that people spend the least amount of time in, but it's pretty important. It's planning ahead. It's staying on top of things. It's getting out ahead of things so that they don't become urgent and you can keep up with it. So urgent, non-important. One of the sites that I was looking at called it the zone of illusion, which I thought was interesting. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I read the article, but I couldn't get the whole impression. So urgent, non-important. Hold on, I took notes. Urgent, non-important is like interruptions that happen in your life. So you get a phone call and you have to answer it. That's going to take up your time. It's urgent. It's not that important though. A text comes in, an email comes in that you have to respond to, those sorts of things. And non-urgent, non-important would be kind of your hangout zone, what you do in your nothing box, watching a show, relaxing, wasting time. And, you know, I might clarify that that's actually important, not important, because if you never do that, it can get a little stressful. The idea is the more time you spend in zone 2, the zone, then the less urgent things, like the less stressful things, you can get out ahead of the stress, which is a helpful sort of thing to do. Okay, now I've got comments over here. I don't know. Who are you, Dodge family memories? I'm so sorry. I was thinking it's Hillary because her last name is Dodge, but I don't think that is. Hi. It's nice to see your face too. Sort of. I can sort of see your little teeny tiny profile picture. Okay, I'm going to keep talking. All right. So I think it's helpful sometimes to think of tasks within these categories if you have time to do that. I'll be honest, I haven't had a whole lot of time to figure this out, but at least when you're trying to... It is you! Hi, Hillary. I can see your comments on Instagram, just not on Facebook. Okay, so it is helpful to, when you're trying to decide what to do and when, it is helpful to think of it in this concept, the urgent and important, and it can sort of help you narrow down which things to prioritize as you're actually managing the to-do list. All right, so those would be my 2 types of planning that I would do. After the planning, it's mostly just management as things come up. So something I've started doing, so I listened to a podcast called Organize 365. She's really fantastic. She actually focuses, she's more of a home organizer, but she's talked about lots of different types of organization. And one week she spent talking about the to-do list, and for every task that she writes down, next to it, she writes down how much time it's going to take, which, by the way, sounds like no big deal, but it's kind of mind-blowing when you start writing it out. So, like, I was planning out this week, because I'm working on time, talking to you guys about the to-do list, and so I'm like, let me be really diligent this week and sit down and do this. And next to each thing, I wrote down how long things would take. And so I had all this stuff for Monday, and I was like, no, that's not all going to happen, because that's an hour here and 2 hours here, and that's 45 minutes here and 15 and 30 minutes. And I have like 3 hours. That's how much time I have, and that's not all going to get done. And it helps to know how much you can fit in when you start listing things next to it. You just list a number, how long it's going to take. And so I've started to try to do that more, simply because it's pretty easy, you know, and if you don't know, you just kind of guess. It's not like it has to be exact, but at least gives you some idea of what you're dealing with. My brain, your brain may be different. My brain doesn't think in terms of time. My brain doesn't keep track of time in the same way, and so it's super useful for me to do this practice so that I can keep track of what I've got going on and not have expectations that aren't going to be met, because that's what happens to me a lot. I write down 75 things, and guess what? They're not going to get done. So it helps me manage that. All right, so writing the amount of time it's going to take next to the task. And the other one is breaking it down to steps and identifying barriers. So when you have a task, and it's stupid stuff, you guys, like it should be straightforward and easy, but it's not. Let's say mailing a letter. Let's say I have a friend who has a birthday and I want to mail her a letter. And so I write down on my to-do list, mail Sarah a letter, right? But it's not that simple, because in order to mail the letter, I need her address, and I've got to go find the address. So that's one step, and that's a barrier. If I don't have the address, I can't mail the letter. I've got to make sure I have stamps. That's a barrier. I've got to go buy stamps. I've got to make sure I have an envelope, because for whatever reason, I never have envelopes. I don't know what the problem is. So that's a barrier. And another step, let me think. I got to actually write the letter and find the note card and the pen. I mean, mailing a letter should be simple, but for some of us, it is not. And so if you're one of those some of us and it's complicated, or if you have a task that you just can't seem to check off the list, try to figure out what the barriers are with it, what's keeping it from getting done, and then break it down into steps and identify, put those onto certain days of the week. You know, instead of having the overall task be mail Sarah a letter, the task is find Sarah's address. That's step 1. And once you do that one, you move on to the next one. Find a stamp. That's step 2. You do that one. I have found for me, it really helps me actually get a task done, because if I look at a task and I don't have all the pieces that I need, or I just can't sit down and do the task for whatever reason, it doesn't get done. Whereas if I break it down into steps, then it makes it a little more manageable for me. So that's been super helpful for me. Okay, so that was a quick rundown. Sorry, I disappeared. I'm going to walk you through kind of what I do, and you can take from it what works for you and ignore what might not work for you. And if you've got a system that works, I would just keep using that. But if you want to tweak it a little bit, you can try this. All right, let me see. Where's my calendar? No, did I bring it down? You guys, I think I left it upstairs. Are you kidding me? Hold on. I don't think I can just leave, can I? A Facebook Live? Where did I put it? It was kind of spazzy this morning. I was running around like a crazy person. I did. I left it up. Okay, hold on just a second. I'll be right back. This is ridiculous. Hold on. Welcome to Facebook Live where real things happen. It wasn't too long. You guys, this is ridiculous. It's been that kind of week. I don't know what your week has been like, but it's been that kind of week for me. Okay, I wanted to show you my calendar. This is a super cheap, like I ordered on Amazon, but I think they also have it at Target. I know people have all the fancy calendars. That was a lot of running. Hold on. They have all the fancy calendars. I just get this basic one because it's worked for me so far. So it's got like the months that you can write in, and then for each the months after the month, it's got the weeks that you can write in. So what I do is I obviously write down like events that are going to happen on the calendar section, and then I use the weekly section to schedule. So like this is this week, and I've written down things, and you can see like I put just a 2 next to that task that's going to take 2 hours. That's how long that's going to take. You'll also see this on the side. So here's what happens for me, is that I don't get things done. If you're super, like my sister-in-law posted in my group, the the Blue Space Moms group, which by the way, if you're not a part of, you should come be a part of. She was saying that she has just lists over her house and just texts things off as she goes throughout her day because she's super task-oriented, which is great if you're task-oriented. But if you're like me and you're not really task-oriented and you'd rather just sit and do nothing rather than check things off the list, things don't get done. Like I have lists and lists and lists because I have to empty my brain out, but I never actually check them all off. Anyway, so I have things that I need to do in each of the days of the week, and I try to organize those in such a way as to make them completable. But as you see, yesterday I got like 5 things done, but there's several things that are still there. So if I get done to Wednesday, I'm still working from Monday sometimes. It's just the way that it is. But I also have this that I just pick up and move throughout the weeks as I go. And this list is things that didn't get done previously. So if I get to Friday and I haven't done some of this stuff, they'll shift to this list, and I'll take that list with me, and I will try to check that off sometime the next week. So they're not lost forever, so they kind of move with me. Now, if I get to the end of a month and I still haven't done the stuff on the yellow sheet, I will transfer it to a big list. And these lists I'm not super proud of because these are the lists where things get lost. These are the lists where they don't get done unless they become important and urgent. Like, call the plumber. Well, it's okay for now until like things start leaking, and then we really need to call the plumber and it becomes important and urgent, and then we get it done. But prior to that, it would be over here. Important, but not urgent. And so I don't do it. It's not... Again, I'm not super great at this, so I'm not saying this strategy is foolproof, but it is the closest I've got for actually accomplishing things. So this idea I got from my dad, actually. So he's got multiple colored notebooks, so for different categories of life. So like the blue one is my photography notebook, things that I need to do for my photography business. The green one is the house, like calling the plumber or calling the electrician or whatever it is that you have to do around the house. The purple one is organization, because it takes time to like clean out closets and reorganize things and organize the pantry, those sorts of things. I don't put those in the house category. I put those in an organization category. And then yellow is just general to do, things that I generally have to get done. And so I try to transfer them into these kinds of lists so that it's a little more, otherwise the list would be just so long, it would be super overwhelming. These are overwhelming enough, by the way. But they tend to get lost to the sands of time when I put them on that list. They sort of disappear, and it's, I don't know what to do about that except for have a less busy life and get more things done and be more task oriented. I don't know. All right, so let me think here. Did I cover all my things? Where's my sheet of paper? Oh, yes. When you're thinking about each task, because like I was saying, those tasks don't get done because life is super busy and it just doesn't happen sometimes. So Jason, who's my husband, he has really taught me how to decide what's important. Well, what's a have to and what's a want to. And I think a lot of times for me, it's a want to, but it feels like a have to. And I have worked very hard over the past few years to try to really think about things in terms of, I really want to do that. Like I really, really, really want to do that. But is it a have to? No, probably not. And I have tried to let go of more of those things to make time for more of the have to's, or to make more time for downtime. When you're scheduling and you're planning your number of hours, schedule in downtime. Like plan to have downtime, because otherwise, well, I don't know, you may, I will lose my mind if I don't schedule in that time to just relax. And I think learning to relax and working to relax is super important. Because you can just work yourself to death, and the list will always be there. The list is not going anywhere, and there's always going to be things to do. It just is what it is. So, okay, I was a little spazzy this morning, you guys. Hopefully some of that was helpful. Oh, Hillary, thank you for posting my link to the Facebook group. I don't know if you did that on Facebook as well. Hey, you got 8 comments, you might have. Look at you, you're like double tasking it on both sides. Anyway, what else was I going to say? Oh, I never introduced myself at the beginning. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Lauren. I'm a family documentary photographer. And I do this because the why of my business is that I want to support moms in whatever way that I can. And so I try to show up every week, Tuesday at 10, to kind of talk through things that can help you as moms live a life that you love. So that's what I'm here doing. And yes, come join my Facebook group, Blue Space Moms. We would love to have you in there. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, next week, I was going to do Grace for Yourself this week. The topic was going to be Grace for Yourself, but I decided to move that to next week and do this instead. So next week we will do Grace for Yourself, and that will wrap up sort of the life balance theme that I've been doing for the past month, for the month of April. April had 5 weeks in it, so I just added this one in. All right, have a great week, and I will see you guys later. Oh, look, all the hearts, all the things are coming in now. All right, bye. I don't know which one to end first. Here we go. End. Hold on. End live video. All right. Oh, I can't move it that way. Hold on over here, Facebook. Oh, it's freaking out. That's because it's sideways. Here we go. End live video. Whoo. End.